What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown from August 7th, or I'm sorry, September 7th through the 12th. Gonna give about another couple minutes to join and then we will get started. Any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. If not, we'll be going over the pairs that you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUDUSD, finishing off with USOIL. We'll be going in order from the top to the bottom. Again, any questions, let me know. Anything throughout the stream that doesn't make any sense that you guys want me to go over and explain, let me know. Any specific pair you guys want me to go over that's not on our list, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. If it is on our list, we'll go in order. As I said, we'll start from the top to the bottom. If it's a pair that's not on our list, we'll do it at the end of the stream. Gonna give everybody till 5:55 to join, so 4 minutes, and then we will get started. Gotta play some music. Let me see what I could play here. The only bad thing about YouTube is the copyrights. Alright, we should be good with the music now. 3 more minutes and then we'll get started again. Any questions, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Any charts, any entries you guys took this week that you want me to go over and talk about, also, just let me know. Remember, this time is for you guys, man. Alright, remember we'll be going over the daily time frame. We'll update our daily lows and daily highs if we need to. We'll talk about you know, the overall market makers pattern on the daily time frame, what we're looking for. Do the same thing on the 4-hour time frame, update our 4-hour highs, 4-hour lows, look for any continuations. Do the same thing on the 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, look for any continuations. And we'll be doing that with every single pair that we have on here on the right hand side with a red flag next to their name. The pairs that are in peak high or peak low or in zones of consolidation, again, we'll update it, but we don't really have to talk about those. We'll wait for price to give us the breaks, or we'll wait for price to start trending before we continue to look for those pairs. There'll surely be about 2 or 3 pairs that are like that, not counting US30 or counting gold or counting Bitcoin. So shouldn't be a lot of pairs to keep an eye on, but I am excited for this week's trading to happen. It's been a pretty slow last 2 weeks. Give me 1 second, let me just see something real quick. Alright, so let's get started. So there's no questions in the chat. Should be a pretty quick session. I'm not going to try to do this for longer than 35-40 minutes. If we have to talk about something, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll skip over it, go to the next one. So should be a pretty quick session for you guys for this week. So AUDUSD, we know overall we're still in a downtrend, right? Yesterday I did a session, so I did a couple markups. Right, so again, we know we're in an overall downtrend. We have push number 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, huge zone. And then we finally had the break of the zone of consolidation that gave us the break of structure, right? The lower low. We know that we're trading between lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're looking for this lower high to be set. Remember, we have 2 points of interest as to where this lower high could be set. Our first point of interest is 800 EMA that price reached. Our second point of interest is the 30-minute gap. Once we got to the 800, price gave us a change of character back down to the bottom side, which we will see here on the 4-hour time frame. This is where the trend looked like it wanted to start shifting, right? Gave us a little change of character, lower low, lower high. We were looking for a valid break of structure after the change of character to determine that price was going to completely turn around and start that downtrend. Instead, price gave us the inducement candles, never gave us a valid break, and then continued this uptrend push. Right, so for right now, we know we had a week of rise last week, or the week previous. This week that just finished is a week of no net, so no continuations here on AUDUSD. And on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us a higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low change of character, and then price came up. Right, from these highs over here, price gave us another change of character back to the top side, higher high. So 30-minute time frame is going to tell us a little bit earlier than the 4-hour if price wants to continue this uptrend push. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute high up here we're going to use this entire zone here. We have enough room to play with, and these lows are still the same lows down here. Right, so we're trading low, low, high, lower, low. Price gave us higher, high. Then price gave us a day of rise. We'll continue to monitor AUDUSD, but for now, not really interested in looking for any trades here. Gave us a nice exhaustion candle, or engulfing candle here. You know, could this be a little just we're trading at a higher high, we have the break? Could we be looking for price to give us a pullback down to the bottom? It could happen. That could be what's going on here. Let's look back at the daily time frame. We had an engulfing candle here that price never tapped into, so keep an eye on that. The fact that price came up gave us an exhaustion candle here on the 4-hour, on the daily time frame. Right, 4-hour kind of has one too, but the daily is more prominent. And on the 30-minute time frame, we have an engulfing candle here going short, a bearish engulfing candle. Could price give us a move something like this to give us the pullback into that engulfing to then go back up to the top side, or just something that could happen. Definitely could happen, so gonna keep an eye on that. AU could be a good trade this week if we get the right confirmations. Right, what would make this trade a lot easier to take too. Let's look at the lower time frame real quick. Do we have any structure on the lower time frame? Nah. Unless we go to the 1 minute and we count this as higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, change of character, lower high. And we're looking for a valid break, which we got here. Right, lower low. We'll have to wait this out. We'll see what AU gives us later on. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Right, so we'll wait it out for AU. Looking interesting though. We'll definitely keep an eye on it for this week. AUDCAD. Daily time frame. We know that we're in A1. We're in the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We have push number 1. First zone of consolidation. Never got a valid break of these lows. Price is just inducing lows and inducing highs. Right, just faking traders out. So once we go down into the lower time frame, right, we knew that we were in a lower time frame zone of consolidation as well. Let me turn off the session breaks here. And we're looking for price to give us a valid break of these highs to know if price is going to give us a steeper pullback to the top side, right, go back to the top, or if price wants to give us an inducement of these highs to then go down. Right, on the 4 hour, it looks like price gave us a valid break. So we'll keep an eye on AUDCAD. If price wants to give us a steeper pullback back to the top side, that's okay. That just means we'll have more pips to catch once price starts trending back to the bottom side. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So we're trading between this 30-minute low down here and these 30-minute highs up here. 30, 30, 30. We have a day of rise, going counter trends, so we'll keep an eye on AUDCAD this week. Euro AUD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend, right? We had push number 1, first zone, second push, second zone, and we're currently in level 3 back to the top side, waiting to see and expecting price to reach our previous peak high zones, which were these highs up here. Right, so daily time frame and 4 hour time frame pretty much very similar. Right, we knew that we were trapped in this little zone here where price has been rejecting these highs, coming back down the entire time. Smaller zone of consolidation on a lower time frame where price is just again rejecting highs and rejecting lows. We had a week of drop the week previous. This week price gave us a week of no net, so no continuations here. And on the 30-minute time frame, what we really want to start seeing on the 30-minute is price giving us higher highs and higher lows. Currently, we're still trading between the previous lower low and lower high, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. We're still on a downtrend, so want to be patient with EA. As soon as we start uptrending on EA, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. EURCAD is in peak high territory. We're in the highest point, right? We've already completed the trend that we wanted to see. Push 1. Push 2, push 3, reach the previous highs. So at this point for ECAD, this is one pair that I'm not currently going to be trading. Going to take it easy with this pair. Peak high territory, peak low territory, I'm not going to take any trades. Right, going to keep it updated just so we don't have to update it when we do start trading it again. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well, my brother. Then for ECAD, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character to the top side. We know we're trading between these 30-minute lows down here and these highs over here. I'll use these highs. We'll have enough space. We also already have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So EURCAD, once again, just gonna take it easy. Not gonna be trading EURCAD for now. It's goody candle. Mr. Ink, welcome, welcome, welcome. Euro USD, we are in level 2 on an uptrend. We have push number 1, first zone consolidation. We have push number 2, price gave us the break of structure. Right, once we got the break, higher high, higher low, gave us a retest, gave us another push to the top side, higher high. And price, they're not giving it easy to us. Instead of giving us a nice little pullback, which, yeah, we could say this was a nice pullback, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But realistically speaking, this is just a little zone of consolidation. Right? If would have been a little bit different, right? If we go to the internal time frame, we'll see that this has a little, right? We have the break, the pullback, the continuation. The fact that price just tested these lows, right? I'm just saying that we're in a zone of consolidation at this point, right? So we already understand the market behaviors. There's only 2 things the market could do: either trend or consolidate. And at this point, price just wanted to consolidate, and that's okay. They're just not going to make this easy for us to take a trade here. And the reason I say that is because EU, very similar to GU, right? I did want to see a steeper pullback. I did want to see price come down and fill this gap up to then continue that push to the top side. But sometimes we don't get the easy trades. Let me add a few lines here so we could update this. Alright, we had 2 weeks where price was just moving sideways. This week, price, if we need to update this tomorrow morning, we'll update it, but that's alright. We'll finish with a week of rise. Whoa, what did I do? And then we had, again, on the 30-minute, price is just moving sideways, right? And we finally got another change of character back to the top side, right? Because previously, price gave us lower low, higher high, then gave us another lower low, then started consolidating again and gave us another change of character back to the top side. So for EU, again, the 30-minute is really going to tell us where price wants to go. If we got a break of structure after this change of character, then we know we'll go right back to the top side. We'll start looking to take trades again once we break these highs. But for right now, we're just in a zone of consolidation. Ain't nothing to trade. You want caught after this? Maybe. Pretty sure, yeah. We'll see what Booba's doing. GA, we're in peak high territory. Already completed the 3 pushes, right? Push 1, first zone. Push 2, second zone. Push number 3. After push number 3, again, price is either going to give us just a simple pullback back down to the bottom, or we're going to consolidate for a little bit. And price has just been consolidating for the last 4 months. Right, so in peak high territory, once again, I'm not really trading in this area, so I'm just going to keep the charts updated. But again, I'm not interested in trading these pairs just yet. Once we turn around, once price starts giving us a change of character, break of structure back to the downside, to start that downtrend push, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades. We had a week of drop, then this week we finished on a no net, no continuations, and then on the 30-minute, price is giving us the change of character, lower low, lower high, break of structure, lower low, and we're still in that downtrend push. So want to be careful with GA. And then on Friday, price just moved sideways, gave us a day of no net. man. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my butt, man. It's already that time of the season. Alright. For GCAD, let me go ahead and delete some of these. There's a lot down here. Alright, so for GCAD, we're in level 3, right? We have push number 1, first zone, push number 2, second zone, and we're currently in push number 3, right? We're expecting price to reach our previous peak highs up at these highs over here, right? Which is our red line that we have across. So we still have a little bit to go. And again, instead of price just giving us a simple higher high going into a higher low to continue, price just gave us a zone of consolidation. So right now we're just moving sideways, right? So at this moment, there's only two areas that I want to take a trade, right? I'm either looking to take trades at the bottom of the zone after the inducement. That was a very bad, right? At the bottom of the zone, looking for the inducement of the lows to then continue back to the top side. Or I'll be looking to take a trade after price gives us a valid break of these highs, gives us the retest to then continue. Everything that price is doing in the middle of the area of the zone of consolidation, I'm staying away from it. Right, so GCAD, we already know there's a little bit of movement that needs to happen before I even consider to take a trade. We had 2 weeks of drop. This week, price gave us a push to the top side. Perfect. And since this is counter trend, we're not going to mark this as a drop rise. It's just a rise. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us a change of character, higher high back to the top side. We're trending lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price on Friday gave us that push back into the higher high. We have 3 days of rise. Friday was a third day push. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. So we'll see what the market wants to do going into the NYC session tomorrow morning. GJ opened with a fat gap. Wow. That's crazy. Not really though. Alright, so GJ is an interesting pair right now. Right, so GJ is already in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We're pretty much still in that level 3 push because we are still technically in an uptrend, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, gave us a higher low, never broke the lows. Right, on the push back to the higher high, price gave us a zone of consolidation. So again, same thing we just talked about on GCAD and a zone of consolidation. Right, there's only two areas that I want to start looking to take a trade. Right, either at the lows after the inducement to go back to the top, or once price gives us a valid break of the highs to then continue that push to the top side. Right, and the fact that price, sorry, give me a second, guys. The fact that price still hasn't given us a valid break of these highs, not going to be looking to take any trades going long at this moment. Right, and then once we go down into the lower time frames, you guys could see that again, price for GJ, we're just consolidating. We're just moving sideways. For the last 4 weeks, price has just been moving sideways. Right, so we want to be super patient with GJ. I'm in no rush to take GJ trades. What am I looking for here? Sunday. We had a week of no net last week, which was price just moving sideways, and then this week, I don't want to call this a rise, right? Because we opened with a fat gap. So we're going to mark it as a no net. Right, and then on the 30-minute time frame, pretty much still trading between this 30-minute low and 30-minute high. Price has been moving sideways. We had 2 days of rise on the third day, which was Friday. Price gave us that third day push, but again, same thing. We pretty much opened with a gap for the new week, so just gonna keep as a drop for now. Then we have a gap here. Let's mark this 30-minute gap. Perfect. GJ could be interesting. If price gives us another inducement of these highs, the same way that we did here, we know price is gonna go right back down to the bottom. Right, so we'll be patient with GJ. Should be a good one to keep an eye on for this week, especially with that gap. Could be a good one. Again, GU very similar to EU, right? We're in level 2 on an uptrend. We had the first push, first zone of consolidation. We had the break of structure of the zone of consolidation. Higher high gave us a pullback, higher low. Price came back up, gave us a higher high, and instead of giving us a higher high, higher low, price has just been moving sideways, right? So again, a pair like GU, a pair like EU, we just have to wait for price to start trending, right? Get away from the zone of consolidation, give us the valid breaks. Once we get those valid breaks, then we start trading. If we don't get a break, we have no trade. Alright, we'll give you that example of what that looks like for the next pair on GJ, because that was an entry that we were looking for on Friday. So we'll go over that now. Or GJ, actually, we just went over GJ. I'm slow. We'll go back to GJ now. 2 weeks where price has just been moving sideways. On the 30-minute time frame, we have low, high. We have another change of character here. New 30-minute high up here, and then these 30-minute lows down here. And we also have a gap for GU right here. Let's go back to GJ. So GJ on Friday, right? Once we got up to these highs, we had the inducements of these highs once again. I was waiting for price to turn around, right? Before I was looking for an entry, right? What I liked about this entry, two things. Number one, we had the change of character. Perfect. We know that after a change of character, in order for us to start looking for those pushes to continue down, we needed to see a valid break. The second thing I liked was the engulfing candle. If price would have given us a valid break of these lows and then the retest, we would have been in this trade 100%. Price would have went straight down into profit when we were looking for, down into STP. The fact that price gave us testing these lows and never gave us a valid break, that's the reason why I did not take this trade here on Friday. That's it. If we don't get a valid break after the change of character, there's no trades. It doesn't matter what entry confirmations you see, right? Again, I am a big believer that every entry confirmation in the market works. Is how you apply it to market structure. If your entry is above, for example, just like here, right? Our entry was above the break. If we get in before the break, we know that we're at a low probability area that price is going to go into our TP. Right? If we wait for the break of structure and then a retest of the area, then we get into trade, and we know it's going to hit TP 100% of the time. Not 20%, not 30%, no, 100% of the time. And again, you guys have my trading journal. You guys see it there. This isn't make-believe. This isn't, you know, in hindsight we're talking about this. No, you guys could go into the Friday stream and go see exactly what we talked about. If you go to Thursday, right, because this was, if you go to Thursday's isolation session, you guys will see what we talked about. there's no trades unless we get a break. Once we get a break, we take the trade, we take the entry, and we'll be right in profit. The fact that we never got the break, can't take a trade. Price is gonna either continue the push back to the top side and just fake you out, or that's it. There's no other outcome. If you don't wait for the break, you're gonna get trapped into that trade. Market makers don't care, man. You gotta wait for that break of structure. NZD USD. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. NU, we are in the second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. Right, as you guys can see, we have everything labeled. This is the one chart that's super clean. Right, on an uptrend, we have push 1, push 2, push 3. On peak high, we had push 1, push 2. Then we have the second zone of consolidation. We still don't have a valid break of the lows. Price hasn't reached our previous peak lows just yet. At the bottom of the zone of consolidation on a daily time frame, if we go down into the 4-hour, we can see that we're in a 4-hour zone of consolidation. So price really has just been moving sideways for the last couple months, right? Since May 2025, we've just been moving sideways, right? And then this week that just ended, price was just moving sideways, just gave us a no net. We have no continuations. Oh man, wrong ticker, wrong label. And on the 30-minute time frame, we're almost done here, guys. These last couple pairs, we'll be done with them pretty quick. We're still trading between this break of structure, lower low, and lower high. So still trading between these 30-minute highs up here and these 30-minute lows down here. Everything that's happening between the 30-minute low and the 30-minute high, all of this is internal structure, 5-minute structure, 5-minute time frame structure. So NU will just be patient. NU will just be patient. US30. We know that for US30 we're in peak high territory, so right now for US30 I'm kind of just waiting it out. Right, what am I waiting for? Well, we know that we're at the daily highs. Right, we had higher high, higher low, and we're looking for price to give us a valid break of these highs, which again, we still don't have a valid break. Just because one candlestick closed above the break doesn't mean it's a break. This is still a testing candle. After the first candle prints above, we want to see another candle close above the wick and is not touching the break of structure line. So yes, even though this candle is not touching the break, the fact that it didn't close above the first green candle's wick is not considered a break. These are all still testing candles. This green candle is a testing candles. All of these red candles are testing. This green candle is a testing candle. We still don't have a valid break of these highs. So what does that mean? If price doesn't give me a valid break, and we could already see on the daily time frame how price is already printing these exhaustion candles, right, at the highs, we could also see that price is just printing exhaustion candles at the lows. So we already know that on a lower time frame, this is just going to be a zone of consolidation. Right? Price is just trapping traders, which we could see on the 4-hour time frame just a little better. Right? So last week we had a week of no net, then this week we have a week of drop, no continuations. Price is just moving sideways for right now. Right? On the 4-hour time frame, same thing. Right? We're looking for higher high, higher low, higher high, but we still don't have a valid break of the highs. Again, just one green candle. No other candle has closed above the wick. All of these candles here are still testing candles, just inducement candles, right? So what am I looking for? So now on the 30-minute time frame, since we already know, okay, well, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation, where could we start looking to take trades? As soon as price starts giving us lower lows and lower highs, that's when I'll start looking to take trades. Why? Well, at this point, we already see how price reacts every single time we get to these highs. Right? And every single time we get to these lows, we could already see how price is reacting. So the only time I'll take a trade is if price gives us a valid break retest to then continue back down to the bottom, or again, if price gives us an inducement of the high, right, to then go back down to the bottom. Friday was a news day. Kind of unfortunate that it was just one single move back down to the bottom, but it's all good. It happens. So for US30, going to play it safe. We'll continue to keep an eye on US30 for this week, but I'm not really going to be interested in taking trades on US30 for right now. Waiting for those breaks to happen. Once we get those breaks, then I'll start looking to take a trade. USDCAD is another one I'm not really trading. At this point, we already completed the 3 pushes to the top side. We reached the previous peak high. Looks like price wants to start that downtrend push back down to the bottom. However, again, we're stuck in the zone of consolidation. So the only time I'll be looking to take a trade again is if price gets back to these highs and gives us an inducement of these highs to then go back down to the bottom. I'll start taking those trades. But for right now, not really going to be forcing any trades on USDCAD. So once we get those inducements to the highs, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. If we don't get the inducement to the highs, but we get a continuation, right? Whether the continuation is 2 months of 2 months of drop looking for a 3rd month push to the bottom, or 2 weeks of drop looking for the 3rd week push, or 2 days of drop looking for that 3rd day push back down to the bottom. So gonna be super patient with USDCAD. Right, and on the other side of it, I'm not really expecting price to continue this downtrend for USDCAD. Not yet, at least. But we'll see what price wants to do once we get to these certain levels. No point in rushing it. And on the 30-minute, we're still trading between a big zone, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came down, just tapped the 30-minute lows and went right back to the top side. So technically speaking, right now on USDCAD, we're still uptrending. We're still trading between a previous higher high and higher low. So again, just have to be very, 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 very patient with USDCAD. Crazy movements out of this pair. USDZAR is another pair that I'm not currently trading, but I'll just update it for right now. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. On a lower time frame, we're still stuck in the zone of consolidation as well. We had a week of rise last week. This week, price gave us a week of drop. Right, we're trading lower low, then price gave us a high, then price gave us another lower low. So just trapping traders, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low, then price gave us a higher high, then price gave us a lower low once again. So gonna be patient with USDZAR. Gold is another one that currently not really actively trading it. On the daily time frame, we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market, right? We're literally at a higher high. So the simplest answer of what would we be trading? Well, at a higher high, we're not expecting price to continue to give us higher highs. We're expecting a higher low, right? Not only are we expecting a higher low, but we also have 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, right? And on the 4-hour, we're not going to mark this as higher high, higher low, higher high. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour high over here. This is all part of the same trend, right? So we had higher high, higher low, boom, higher high. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we have a day of rise, and we're still trading higher high, higher low, and higher high. So we'll be marking these 30-minute lows down here and these 30-minute highs up here. Once we start getting those downtrend pushes, we get the change, we get the break. That's when I'll start looking to take the trades on this once again. Give me 1 second. My bad, E called me. He's on his way here. He gets here at like 9 p.m. Right, so for gold, that's kind of really the only thing, guys. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point. We're at a higher high. You know, the question really just is, when is price going to give us a pullback? And again, this is where the lower time frame is going to be our friend. Right? The 5 minute, I'm not really going to be using the 1 minute on gold. Could we use it? Absolutely, but 5 minute is really, you know, even though the 5 minute and the 1 minute right now will be trading between the same area. So we'll just use the 5 minute for a little bit more clarity, and it just looks a little bit better, right? So we know that we had these highs right on the 5 minute. Right? Price gave us higher high, it gave us higher low. 5 minute break. Right? We know that we're trading between this 5 minute low down here currently and these 5 minute highs over here. Right? This higher high. So once price starts giving me a change of character, right? Let's say price even does this, right? Boom, gives us another high. Right? Then we know we're trading between this low, right, and these highs. And then let's say price gives us a change of character, lower low, right? Right? Starts trending. Then we know we're trading between this low and these highs, right? And then if price gives us a break of structure after that change of character, this is where I'll start looking to take the trade to go right back down to the bottom side. So if we get that change, once we get the break after the change of character, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. So right now for gold, just got to be patient, but we know that that pullback is going to happen. Again, the question isn't whether it's going to happen or not, it's just when. Right? So once we get the change in the break, that's when we'll start looking to take those trades back down to the bottom. Bitcoin is another one that currently I'm just not really going to be trading it. Very similar to US30. What my chart freeze for? We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. You know, where are we going to go? Is Bitcoin just going to continue? You guys also have to remember, Bitcoin is a fresh chart. It's a brand new chart. Right? These are the first times we're making peak highs. Right? So could price just continue those peak high pushes back to the top side? Could price just continue to make newer highs and newer highs? Absolutely. This is Saturday at 8 p.m. Why do I not see Saturday 20 here? Am I tripping out or what? Let's add a few lines here. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Alright, we had 2 weeks of drop. Once again, counter drop. Third week, price gave us a just gave us a push to the top side. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Then price gave us, nope, we're still trading between the lower low and the lower high. Right, so lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower low, lower high, lower low. As you can see, price never broke these highs. We're just still tapping into them. And then the market doesn't close for another hour and a half for Bitcoin. So we'll wait that out. We'll update that tomorrow morning. And then last but not least, guys, US oil. If you guys have any other questions about any other pairs, let me know. Oil, we're in an overall downtrend. We have push number 1 for zone of consolidation. Right? We had the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, lower low, lower high, and we're looking for price. Right? Let's zoom in here. We had the break, lower low, we have the lower high, and we're on our way to make the lower low. Right, on the push down to the lower low, price gave us a zone of consolidation, gave us the break, gave us a beautiful retest, right back down to the bottom. This is another pair that kind of missed our opportunity to take these trades, man, but it's all good. Kind of missed these trades, but it's all good. Weekly drop. Add a few lines here. And on the 30-minute, we have the change of character and we have the break. Right? I don't really like to. If we would have had a steeper pullback on oil, would have definitely have said that this was change of character, lower low, lower high break of structure. But the fact that we don't have a valid pullback here, all of this is really part of the same trend, right? We have 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, we already know the market must move sideways or go up. So once we get a valid break of these lows down here, I want to see a pullback. So the first thing is I want to see a lower high. Once we get the lower high and we get the break of these lows, then I'll start looking to take these trades, right? But oil's looking good. Oil is definitely looking good. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Any questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you want me to explain? Let me know. If not, we'll be back tomorrow for the might not have a live trading session tomorrow morning. We have nothing. Have to take either to the airport tomorrow morning. I forgot what time he said, but I don't think we'll be doing the live trading session tomorrow morning. Worst case scenario, I'll be up. If I see any charts, I'll let you guys know in the Discord, or I'll probably turn the stream on very early if I do see something. But I'll definitely be on. I'll be on Discord for a little bit before I have to head to the airport. And I'll let you guys know in the Discord if there's any trades. My little brother X, do you want to listen to his freestyle? Not really, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Especially with the BS he be talking about. So nah, man. I'ma stay a hater of the Keyshawn freestyles, man. It's not for me. That's him texting. Yo, go to school, man. Go to sleep. You got school tomorrow. It's already 7 p.m., bro. It's past your bedtime. Trying to act like that's me texting. Alright, guys. No questions again. Remember, most likely not going to be a live trading session tomorrow, but I will be active in the Discord. I'll let you guys know if there's any trades, anything that I see, anything to keep an eye on for. Let me know. Any questions, I'll give you guys another minute. If no questions, then we'll be done for this week's weekly market breakdown, and we'll be back again tomorrow for the isolation session at 7 p.m. And then we'll be back again for our regular schedule on Tuesday morning for the live trading session, and then again Tuesday evening for the isolation session, and up until Thursday. Well, pretty much up until Friday, right? Friday we'll do the live trading session, and then that's the last session for the week until Sunday. And then Sunday we'll be doing this session again. So, again, guys, any questions? Couple seconds in the chat. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you want me to explain? Alright, you see, this is where, like, come on, man. Alright, guys, peace out.